The murder of Rayna Rison, a 16-year-old high school student from Porte, Indiana, is a case that encapsulates both the heartbreak of a young life cut short and the relentless pursuit of justice. Rayna's disappearance in 1993, followed by the discovery of her body weeks later, shocked the small community and led to a lengthy investigation that spanned 2 decades. This video delves into the details of the case, investigation, and the trial, highlighting the tenacity of law enforcement and the impact of the tragedy on Rayna's family and community. Rayna Rison, a promising young life. Rayna Rison was a bright and cheerful teenager, known for her kindness and dedication. She was an active member of her high school band and had aspirations of becoming a veterinarian. Rayna worked part-time at the Pine Lake Animal Hospital, where she was beloved by her colleagues for her compassion and diligence. On the evening of March 26, 1993, Rayna left work at the animal hospital, planning to meet up with friends. She never arrived. When she didn't return home that night, her family reported her missing, setting off a frantic search by police and the community. The disappearance and discovery. The initial search for Rayna yielded no immediate clues. Her car was found abandoned near the animal hospital, with her purse and belongings inside, but there were no signs of a struggle. As days turned into weeks, the community's hope for finding Rayna alive began to wane. On April 27, 1993, nearly a month after her disappearance, Rayna's body was discovered in a pond near Range Road by a fisherman. Her hands and feet were bound, and an autopsy revealed that she had been strangled. The discovery was a devastating blow to her family and friends, who had been holding out hope for her safe return. The investigation. The investigation into Rayna Rison's murder was complex and challenging. Detectives from the LaPorte County Sheriff's Office interviewed Rayna's family, friends, and colleagues, trying to piece together her last known movements. They also examined her relationships, looking for anyone who might have had a motive to harm her. Early on, suspicion fell on various individuals in Rayna's life. One of her ex-boyfriends was questioned extensively, but was eventually cleared of any involvement. Investigators also looked into a colleague at the animal hospital who had shown an unusual interest in Rayna, but again, there was not enough evidence to link him to the crime. A breakthrough, the confession. The case remained cold for nearly 2 decades, despite the efforts of law enforcement and the community's continued interest. In 2008, a breakthrough came when a man named Larry Hall, a convicted serial killer serving a life sentence for other murders, confessed to killing Rayna. Hall had been implicated in numerous disappearances and murders of young women across the Midwest. Larry Hall's confession was detailed and included information that had not been released to the public, lending credibility to his claims. However, Hall had a history of confessing to crimes he did not commit, and there was no physical evidence linking him to Rayna's murder. Despite this, his confession renewed interest in the case and prompted investigators to re-examine the evidence. Advances in forensic science. Advances in forensic science played a crucial role in the renewed investigation. DNA technology, which had not been available during the initial investigation, provided new opportunities to analyze evidence collected from the crime scene. Forensic experts re-examined Rayna's clothing and other items for any traces of DNA that could identify her killer. In 2013, DNA evidence from Rayna's clothing matched a man named Robert "Bobby" Little. Little had been a suspect early in the investigation, but had never been charged due to a lack of evidence. The DNA match provided the breakthrough that investigators needed to move forward with the case. The arrest and trial. Robert Little was arrested in November 2013 and charged with the murder of Rayna Rison. Little, who had a history of criminal behavior, including sexual assault, had always denied any involvement in Rayna's disappearance and murder. However, the DNA evidence was compelling, and prosecutors built a strong case against him. The trial began in 2014 and quickly became a focal point for the community. The prosecution presented a comprehensive case, supported by the DNA evidence and testimony from witnesses who had seen Little in the area at the time of Rayna's disappearance. They argued that Little had abducted Rayna, assaulted her, and then killed her to cover up his crime. The defense attempted to discredit the DNA evidence, arguing that it had been contaminated or mishandled. They also suggested that Larry Hall's confession indicated that someone else was responsible for the crime. However, the jury was convinced by the prosecution's case. After a 2-week trial, Robert Little was found guilty of first-degree murder. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The verdict brought a measure of closure to Rayna's family and friends, who had endured 2 decades of uncertainty and grief. Psychological analysis. The Rayna Rison case highlights the importance of understanding the psychological factors that drive violent behavior. Robert Little's criminal history and violent tendencies were well documented, but it took years for investigators to gather the evidence needed to convict him. The case underscores the need for early intervention and effective monitoring of individuals with a history of violent behavior to prevent future tragedies. Larry Hall's false confession also underscores the complexities of criminal psychology. Hall's pattern of confessing to crimes he did not commit complicated the investigation and diverted resources away from pursuing the true perpetrator. Understanding the motivations behind false confessions is crucial for law enforcement to navigate such cases effectively. Impact on the community. The murder of Rayna Rison had a profound impact on the Porte community. The brutality of the crime and the loss of such a promising young life left a lasting scar. The case highlighted the vulnerabilities of young people and the need for greater awareness and preventive measures to protect them. In the years following Rayna's murder, the community rallied to support her family and keep her memory alive. Vigils, memorials, and awareness campaigns were organized to honor Rayna and advocate for justice. The case also led to increased support for missing persons investigations and the use of advanced forensic technology. Media coverage and public reaction. The Rayna Rison case received extensive media coverage, both locally and nationally. The media played a crucial role in keeping the case in the public eye and maintaining pressure on law enforcement to solve the crime. The coverage also highlighted the emotional toll on Rayna's family and the community's collective grief. Public reaction to the case was one of outrage and sorrow. The senseless brutality of the crime and the long wait for justice resonated deeply with people across the country. The case also sparked discussions about the importance of forensic science in solving cold cases and the need for better support for victims' families. Continuing Rayna's legacy. Rayna Rison's legacy extends beyond her contributions to her community and her aspirations for the future. Her story has inspired countless individuals to advocate for justice and support victims of violence. The work of organizations dedicated to solving cold cases and supporting victims' families continues to honor Rayna's memory. Educational campaigns and advocacy efforts aimed at promoting awareness about missing persons and the importance of forensic science have been influenced by Rayna's case. These initiatives emphasize the need for vigilance, community support, and the use of advanced technologies to prevent and solve crimes. Lessons learned. The Rayna Rison case offers several important lessons for society. First and foremost, it underscores the critical importance of forensic science in solving crimes and bringing perpetrators to justice. Advances in DNA technology were instrumental in identifying and convicting Robert Little, highlighting the need for continued investment in forensic research and development. The case also emphasizes the importance of thorough and unbiased investigations by law enforcement. The initial investigation faced numerous challenges, but the persistence of investigators and the use of new technologies ultimately led to justice for Rayna. This demonstrates the importance of due process and the commitment of law enforcement to uncovering the truth. Finally, the case highlights the need for community support and solidarity in the face of tragedy. The efforts of Rayna's family, friends, and community to keep her memory alive and advocate for justice played a crucial role in maintaining public awareness and pressure on law enforcement. This collective action demonstrates the power of community solidarity in the face of tragedy. That's all for today's video. If you found this video informative and want to hear more true crime stories, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Click the bell icon to get notified every time we post a new video. Also, leave a comment below with your thoughts on the case. We love hearing from you and value your input.